This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West podcast with your hosts, Brandon Cook, Nick Harrington, and Travis Foch.
Well, this was a weird week. I thought for a hot minute we were going to be talking about 3 losses for the Griffins, which would have been uncharted territory for us as a podcast. But at the same time, when you look at the team's record, even if you were talking about 3 losses this week, you can't doom and gloom about it because the team's so good. But thank God they got a win, so it doesn't have to sound like doom and gloom. And there's actually 2 losses to kind of talk about. And balancing talking about a loss and not sounding doom and gloom is so hard. But we're going to try our best. And we're back. I'm back. Thank you, boys, for getting a Griffins episode out last week while I was out with the flu. Shout out to our friend Elaine for coming on the show as well and kind of helping keep it on the rails, at least while I was out, because the flu this year is no joke. I think pretty much half my week was a fever dream, but I appreciate you guys holding it down and making things happen while I was out. How are you guys both doing today?
Yeah, I don't know how you're a 2-time winner of the flu for this year, Brandon. Back to
back. The first one wasn't the flu. I don't know what that one was, but this was the actual flu, and oh boy, does it suck.
Yeah, I'm glad you stayed away, and the team didn't get infected either. And it was a crazy long week for us. So, Travis and I went to the Sergey game, so that was spontaneous and unplanned and a lot of fun. But it just added into the crazy week with what we had with a game Tuesday, which I don't remember the last time they played.
We hate Tuesday games.
Yeah, and we talked about it. Travis and I talked about it on the episode, and then Tuesday I was like, "Wait, what do you mean there's a game? Dang it!" So used to the Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, which is what we have for the next 2 weeks. So, but yeah, getting hopefully a little bit of balance back into my schedule.
Yeah, it's nice to be recording on a Sunday again too. I think getting this done at this time is been the best practice for us for a while, and we had to get away from it with the Griffins playing so many Sundays in December. So it's nice to be back. Trav, how you doing, man? You guys buried in snow down there yet, or what?
Little bit. A lot of wind, a lot of drifting, but I think I want to say it was one of the roads when we got in last night. One of the guys was like, "Yeah, it was like as tall as my wing plow," and cars were like going off the road through yards because it was so deep. There was less snow in people's yards than there was on the road, so that's pretty wild. But yeah, and until tomorrow, we're getting more tonight. So probably be working all day tomorrow now.
Yeah, can you make sure those roads are nice and clear before my drive down there? Thanks, I appreciate it, buddy.
You stick to the interstates, I think you'll be good. The state has an unlimited budget for salting, so I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. I'll be in Ohio for work all week this week, but I'll also be able to weasel my way into Toledo to see the Walleye play on Friday. So I'm pretty excited about that after having to miss a planned trip because of the flu. I was supposed to be there. We were set, ready to roll, and that flu hit the day I was supposed to go.
We got to talk about that for a quick second. The ultimate ticket find of the century.
Yeah, I'm so sad about it. Like, you last minute find 3 tickets, 1 or 2 rows off the glass. Like, it's an opportunity to get my parents down to a game, and they've never been to a Walleye game. This whole thing was set up perfectly, and I came home from the game Friday night and was instantly like, something ain't right, and woke up Saturday morning going, nope, it's not right. And had to sell off those tickets, which luckily you were able to do quickly, and we didn't lose any money on the deal, and it's a good day. Well,
the funniest part about the whole thing is I bought the first 3, right? And then my buddy was looking for tickets, so I found the next 3 tickets next to you. And for my buddy, his wife, and their daughter, they were going to take her to her first Walleye game. And then you text me and you're like, I can't go. And I was like, oh, this would have been perfect if you were like a half hour earlier. So I seen those other tickets posted, and I knew it was the same seller, and I was like, it's the same, it's right next to the ones I just bought. So then I called my buddy back. I'm like, hey, do your parents or somebody else want to go? Like, I got 3 more right next to you, same thing. So I told him the story. He goes, dude, how did you find the? I'm like, don't ask.
Yeah, Travis is like the Elliot Friedman of Toledo with how he gets people's contact down there, and he's also my personal ticket agent at this point when I need tickets last minute. So if you ever need anything in Toledo, you go to that. Yeah, right? You need something in Toledo, you go to Travis. Yeah. That's what I've learned. So, all right, well, we'll dive into this. Welcome back to the Hockeytown West podcast, everyone. Your source for everything Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye Hockey. And if you're new here, welcome. Make sure you hit subscribe, like the video, leave a comment on what you think about these Grand Rapids Griffins lately. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back. We appreciate you guys. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure you're hitting subscribe and hitting follow wherever you listen to your podcasts at. And of course, check us out on Patreon as well, where we post unedited episodes and exclusive content, bonus episodes, all sorts of fun stuff. Patreon.com/Hockeytown West Podcast. Well, let's dive into some news updates around this team before we dive into the games, because there was a little bit of news this week. You had some roster changes and you had some all-star announcements. We'll start with the roster changes. After Tuesday's game in Milwaukee, Sheldon Dries was reassigned back to the Griffins by Detroit, which we'll talk about more in depth when we talk about these games, but it was good to see Driesy back. Unfortunate to not see Driesy play a game with Detroit. I really wanted to see him at least get in for one game. It was kind of strange. They just had him there for an extra. But would you guys have liked to have seen like what he could do?
We talked a little bit about this on the last episode, and I couldn't figure out. And I never did get the stat if he did play a game last year, but I feel like he got called up and then didn't play again. But the benefit for him being up there, like he was able to be a part of that Sergey, the whole ceremony, and like a guy from Michigan being up there, seeing everything. So I thought that was cool. I wish he would have got a game, right? Take somebody out. I know Todd's been being blender with the lineups lately. It's been working. I would love to see him play and see if he gets a chance and, maybe spark a little bit of offense. Who knows up there?
It was neat to see him go up. I wish he would have got a game, but at the same time, I can understand like when they had called him up, they were still winning. So like you don't really change a winning lineup. So, and he was mainly there just in case somebody like tweaked something in warmups and he could then be a late addition and there'd be a late scratch.
Yeah, because when he was originally called up, they were on the road. So it makes sense, right? But it does suck. We'll have to get to a practice here soon and ask him about the Sergey game and all that stuff. It's not really the time in a post-game interview to ask about that type of event and his experience with that, but we'll catch him at a practice and see if he was able to be on the bench and get to watch that, front row seat like that and experience that cool thing. Like Nick said, being from Michigan, that had to be a cool thing to be a part of if he was around it. On top of that, though, you had Eric Gustafsson recalled back to Detroit after Driesy was sent down. And obviously Gus hasn't played a game yet since that recall, but you got to think it's only a matter of time when you look at some of the defensive play of some of the guys in Detroit that Gus is probably going to get a shot back in the lineup there. And I think I said it best when I posted something about it on Twitter. It was, I hope Todd just looks at him and says, do exactly what you've been doing in Grand Rapids and go out there and have fun. Like that's all Gus needs to do because he's been phenomenal in Grand Rapids. Like some of the ways he's been walking the blue line, I'm like, that looks like young ASP out there. Like he's making guys miss. He's juking around guys on the blue line. Like I haven't seen Gus do that until more recently. And then you have the little bit of snarl that he's developed in his play with Grand Rapids too. You kind of hope that he can go do that in Detroit.
Yeah, I just love the feistiness that he's had recently. Like he gets involved. He's clear, he's throwing punches. Just something you don't really expect out of him. You think of more of an offensive weapon on the power play and getting the shots to the net. And then you add that. It's great to see that he's getting recalled back up there. Not great for Grand Rapids, obviously, for this week. I missed a little bit of his veteran leadership, but hopefully he gets some games up there. I know there was a lot of trade chatter this week as well, and hopefully he's still with us. I think that trade's already going to be done here very shortly, and we're out of it. But hopefully he makes a stay up there. I know with the ASP, they're sheltering him quite a bit, so hopefully he's able to provide a little bit of guidance for the young kid up there too.
I think today he plays. I could be wrong, but after what they did with ASP, only playing him 9 minutes the other night, like could be an opportunity for him to slot into the lineup. We'll see. But other than that, you love to see him back up there. It's pretty obvious that he should be playing in the NHL somewhere. Like there's a team that could use his services in the NHL somewhere. Obviously, it's just been so good with Grand Rapids that Detroit's probably a little hesitant to even consider moving him at that rate because if they can keep him to where he doesn't need waivers to go back down, then they'll be in good shape. But yeah, it's good to see that he got a call up. Hopefully he gets to play.
Yeah, I would like to see it. And I think it opens up another topic. I don't want to get too off track when we're talking about the news of the Griffins, but you talk about what they did with ASP, right? He had 9 minutes of ice time the other night. Everyone's like, are they going to send him down? I don't think they're going to send him down. I don't think he comes back to Grand Rapids anytime soon. But what we talked about kind of last night, Nick, is I think they might regret their decision of starting him in the NHL. I think they wish they might have started him in Grand Rapids for half the season and made that flip flop. I think that's kind of where Detroit's at with it right now. It's what we said should have happened, but at the same time, it didn't. He had the flashes, he had everything ready to go, and let's be real, he's had some great games and done some great things, and it's not consistent, right? He's young, he's a rookie, it's his first year in the NHL, and you're going to have moments like this, and if he gets sad a game, he gets sad a game. It's not the end of the world, but I don't think we see him back in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I was there for that conversation. I was with you when we were talking about that. Is that maybe they regret bringing him up so soon, and they should have had him down here. And now that he's up there, it's okay. Well, let's go with this plan a little bit differently, right? Kind of adjust and shelter and give him those, couple not benching him completely, right? He's still getting playing time, but just lessen that playing time. And it's the other aspect on it too is the Atlantic is so close. The standings are so
weird,
close.
Man.
Everybody, like they said too, is the last 10 games, everybody's like 9-1. And if you've lost a game, it was to somebody else in the Atlantic. So it's just been a crazy year for that division, and they're so close. So it's like, you can't really swap somebody else. If maybe we were more out of it, they'd drop him, or give him more time, or a longer leash. But at this point, it's all right. Let's, we can't drop him now. Let's, work with him and continue to just kind of put him in a good positions for him to be able to have success, right? As we get through the season, if they do start losing points and losing standings, maybe at that point they drop him right down to GR, or we go on a long GR run down here with him in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. I don't doubt. I was gonna say I might take that back now.
When you look at the grand scheme of things, right? Like, he's played a lot of games this season. When they sent down Nate, Nate had not played as many games. You can do that with him. I don't think you could do this with ASP. So I don't expect it. I don't see anything changing there. And again, it's not like he's a bad player. He's not going to be a bad player. The kid's going to be a stud. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and it's that adjustment period, and he'll be fine. Back to the Griffins. Last week, obviously, you guys talked about the return of Shai Bouillon, which is great. Let's get some of these injured guys back in the lineup. And this week, we had another one return. You had Dominic Shine miss a couple games. He came back into the lineup this week, though. That was good. And then you had Amadeus Lombardi finally make his return to the lineup. And I know that was a welcome sight for a lot of fans to see this kid get back in. He's had an interesting week of some spills into the boards and everything like that, which, as he said to you, Nick, after the game Friday, there's kind of no better way to test an injury than go out there and take a couple of licks. But at the same time, Ammo being back is just so much fun for all of us because he's such a fun player to watch.
He was definitely buzzing. First game back, he was all over the puck. He was all over the ice. He was everywhere, just playing just crazy, right? It was good to see him. It's like seeing the old Ammo back. And then, a little different game on Saturday for what he had played. So, it's good to see him back. I know he was driving to the net hard, and he took a couple tumbles, but he said he was good. He's good to go. And he even saw the score sheet this weekend too. So, which is, heavily needed, especially with the little rut that we're in. And, it's always good to see him back.
Yeah. It's just good energy in the lineup, right? That's what he brings. He brings that fun vibe, and he's, again, when he has the puck on his stick, he's such a fun player to watch. Sometimes it can be frustrating because you're like, man, you just overstick handled yourself or did something crazy. But when he can go in and make a big play and is about to pass off that not a lot of guys in this team can make that pass and get into that spot because of his speed, it's so good to see. And he clearly didn't lose his legs during the injury. He's still got his speed there. He can still fly. He's easily the fastest guy on this team, and just so much fun to watch, and we're so happy to have him back. Carter Mazur's still no update on him yet. I know he was at the Great Skate this weekend, but he did not participate in skating. I've heard rumblings that he'll be back on the ice within a couple of weeks, but we don't know that for sure. Still don't know a time frame for him, but at the same time, we wait and see. But hey, 2 of the 3 big pieces that have been injured for a long period of time are back in the lineup. It's created some interesting lineups, but it is good to see these guys start to return. Last piece of news for the team is All-Star rosters came out. We have 4 total representatives going to the All-Star game in Grand Rapids, including our coach. You got Dominic Shine, first-time All-Star, Sebastian Cossa, back-to-back All-Star appearances, and John Leonard is also a back-to-back All-Star. He was an All-Star with Charlotte last year. you got those three going to Rockford. Super exciting to see, and obviously well-deserved for all three guys.
Could have been more, but there's only so many spots, right? So it's
Well, they got to give a representative from every team. There's some guys that you look at that and go, why are you there? But
do they?
They do. Yeah, you do have to have at least one guy from every team.
It's cool. It's exciting. I wish I didn't prep, so I didn't see. But I asked Cossa, I was like, is this your third year going now? Because you did one in the ECHL, then two back-to-back in the A. I think and he couldn't remember either when I threw it to him on the spot. But I think he's the first back-to-back guy that's gone from the Grand Rapids for like the last 10 years or something. Like it's been a while since the last
back-to-back one was Chris Terry.
So and the last time we had like these four, was it like the last time we won the championship? We had four representatives. So very cool, very well deserved. I mean, I can't think of anybody else that would have, like, if we could only pick four people, I couldn't think of anybody else to replace these four, right? These guys have been the heart and the soul of the team, and they've really carried us.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue for Drisey, right? But at the same time, you can't have that many guys going. They just couldn't do it. You could have probably sent all the top 5 guys in points on this team in reality, which would have added MBN and Eddie. But at the same time, it'll be cool. I'm happy for Shiner, man. First All-Star game. That's going to be really cool for him.
I think an honorable mention that could have went was Eric Gustafson.
Oh, yeah. 100%, dude. 100%. That would have been a no-brainer. I mean, 20 points in his 22 games. He's been fantastic.
It's weird that we have so many forwards going. We don't have a single defenseman, and we have such a, like, GR's been known for their good defense like all year. So it is kind of weird that we don't have a defenseman going. And I would have liked to see that be Ed, but you can't take Shiner out. You can't take Lenny out. And then it leaves, so it's a tough decision.
Yeah, it is cool. And a cool piece for us that we'll share on the episode here. Nick, you and I are going.
We got selected.
Yeah, we're going to the All-Star game. We will be there for media coverage of the All-Star game. We're super stoked about this. Like, when we think big picture, right? We never thought we'd be doing what we do now when we started doing this show. And sure, it's an AHL All-Star game. I'm sure people listening to us are like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It's a huge deal to us. We're super excited to get to this opportunity, not just to go cover, our Griffins that are going to be there, but we're going to get to cover the whole thing. We're going to get to talk to everyone that's there. We get to do the AHL Hall of Fame piece. There's so many pieces of this that are going to be so cool for us to see and bring you guys hopefully a ton of content with. I mean, you look at the rosters across the league, which we'll talk about a little bit later. There's some names on there that, hell, I never thought I'd get to talk to.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Like, we just keep asking, right? And we just keep going. We just keep seeing if we can, what we can do. And it just keeps getting bigger for us. And I know we're excited. It is Rockford, so it's not super exciting, right? It's been the joke. But I'm excited. I've never been in that barn. We've wanted to go to, the Central Division barns to kind of see our teams play against and just kind of visit and see what's different out there from Van Andel. We've been to Toledo. We've been to Mun Arena. I've been to Yost. I've been to, the Flint Arena too. So it's just another one that I can kind of check off to being at. And we had talked off air that we were going, but we didn't really get the selection until yesterday at like 2:30.
Yeah.
A little bit of a surprise for Travis. We didn't tell you, Travis, until just now. So
he probably saw the email, but
did you?
I didn't see the email, but I kind of had a feeling you guys would get to go. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't let you guys. That's awesome for you guys. Wish I could go, but just too much going on down here for me to sneak over to Illinois at that time of the year.
Yeah.
But super exciting for you guys. I'm so pumped for you guys. I know you guys take a lot of pride in what you guys do up there. So I try to help when I can, but I'm here for moral support on this show, this part of the show. So I'm really happy for you guys.
Thanks. It'll be fun. I've never been to an All-Star game ever, like any level of All-Star game. So I'm excited to see it. And if you've watched the AHL All-Star game in the past, like the skills competition, they usually have the glass down on the sides of the rink for the fans to be right up close. I'm curious to see what that looks like. And the whole experience overall is going to be a really cool one. And get some hopeful one-on-one time with some of these players too. Like there's some big names going, and there's some, when you look at the honorary captains for this whole tournament as well, and you look at like Patrick Sharp and Christopher Stieg there, you're like, that's just names. Those are names. Like it's gonna be really cool. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Is like Lane Grace is going as well, so we'll have a familiar face, a good friend of the show, a great friend of the show. And she's been to a few All-Star games, so she could kind of show us the ropes and figure out, help us kind of navigate this crazy circus. Is from what I've been told by others of. It's very fast paced. It's not just the games and the All-Star, the skills comp. Like there's stuff scheduled. I was looking at the itinerary. There's stuff scheduled all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday. Now, like
It's going to be chaos.
It's going to be chaos, and I've been able to kind of navigate a little bit and get those days off now. So I'm excited, and a little bit of rest and recovery too while we're down there. So I'm very excited.
You think there's going to be rest time? You're hilarious. But yeah, it's going to be cool. Stay tuned for future content on that. Obviously, that's only a few weeks away now. So we'll be down there and share all sorts of fun content. And I'm sure we'll do a bunch of stuff for Patreon as well, like we mentioned earlier, with some bonus stuff. So we'll do that. And I think it's time we dive into games. All right, enough talk about us going to the All-Star game and all the other news. Let's dive in to talk about some hockey. And the first game we get to talk about is a doozy of a game, honestly, when you look at this. Another game against Milwaukee that goes to overtime. And the Griffins lose this one 5-4 at the hands of Zach LaRue for the second time in overtime. Just 23 seconds into overtime. Just kind of a heartbreaker there. You hate to see that guy in particular get the goal. I think he might be the least favorite player. I think Max Boltman said it to us last night. He's the Brad Marchand of the AHL. That's what he is, and that's a dang good description to make fans understand that might not watch a lot of Zach LaRue play hockey. But with this game, I mean, back and forth, the Griffins try to claw back in, and you just end up losing there. And I think the storyline of this one was this Sebastian Cossa's worst game of the season.
I got more storylines than that. But yeah, he didn't play very well as a whole. I didn't think the Griffins as a team played very well. Defensively, I don't think they played very well. Cossa was definitely off. I mean, offensively, they scored enough goals, but they were not good defensively at all. And that wasn't good enough. But even, I'm sure Cossa would even tell you that was an unacceptable performance. I think he would even go to say he's a gamer. We've talked to him. You guys have talked to him enough. It was on the interview with him last year. He's, I think he's got enough sense that he's got to be a lot better than that night. And he was the other night. He definitely was a lot better. They just couldn't get him any goals.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that, the offense did its job. It's just like you said, defensively, they were not great, and he didn't have his best game either. He didn't really give them that chance to win. He didn't give them the opportunity to steal the game, right? You start off with, Milwaukee scoring. Daniel Carr, we've talked so much about him this season after Cossa shut him down with like 6 breakaway opportunities. The guy comes back and scores 2 goals the next game, gets the first goal in this game. Tralmaks finds the back of the net, which was great to see. We needed Eddie to get a goal there. And then the Griffins take a too many men on the ice penalty, and you let this lethal power play of Milwaukee step on the ice. And that was kind of the point where it felt like the game turned. Even though the Griffins came out in the second and got 2 more goals, it felt like that power play just kind of took the wind out of their sails and took the wind out of the sails of the defense especially, and let Milwaukee just keep in this game and keep clawing back in. And once they finally were able to get it tied up there at the end, you're just like, yeah, this doesn't look good. I got a bad feeling about this. And you look at LaRue right at that point in time, he had played 2 games against the Griffins, had 4 points. Like, he's one of those guys that we call a Griffin killer, but I don't want to give him that much credit because I just can't stand him as a player.
When he scored, I was like, I was so ticked. I was so, so pissed. I'm like, the game was so back and forth, and it was just here and there and back and forth. And like, as soon as we get a goal, they get a goal. And it's just like, okay, defensively, we just weren't able to shut it down. We were letting too many shots in the slot. We were letting too many shots too close to the goal. Milwaukee did a great job of keeping our shots to the blue line, right? That's where a majority of our goals were. They were far distance. We weren't doing anything to stop, create traffic or create those dirty goals is what we really needed. And when I saw, like, I'm like, if we could just get this, like maybe we could get revenge here, right? Like LaRue just got the overtime game winner last week against us. I'm hoping that we kind of like come out with some urgency. We come out with some mentality, some of that hunt mentality that our identity, right? And it just seems like we were just kind of just trying to catch up the whole game, really. Like you said, Brandon, like we're trying to just catch up. That power play really took a lot out of us. And you can't give them chances on the power play. Milwaukee's so good that they have the best. I think they still have the best power play in the entire league. Our power play
it's up like 40% of their goals this season are on the power play. It's insane. If their power play didn't exist, they would be a bottom feeder in this division.
And I think they're good to have like created an instigator, right? Like you're going to get the second call is going to go against you. And so they're getting on that power play. They're creating those chances. They're creating their power play chances, which is something Travis and I talked last week is Grand Rapids is not doing that. Like that's something that they really need to do a little bit more of is creating their power play chances. But you just see Zach LaRue go into overtime and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. How do we let this guy for the second night that we've played them beat us again in overtime? Like that's just a stab to the heart is what I felt. I was so ticked.
Well, I can tell you how it happened.
Don't. I don't want to relive it.
Well, I mean, it's got to be discussed. Like that was Ammo's man. I get he's been out. They're playing man to man. That's his guy. He's got to have better gap control. He gave him too much space and it burned him. I mean, you gotta stick closer to. That's the guy. That is the guy. Like you have to.
That is the guy. Him. I think Gus also made the wrong read on that play too, though.
You have to know to switch off, though. Like there may have been some miscommunication, but if you go back and watch it, like Gus is clearly going to that backside. That's Ammo's guy in man to man. Like,
well, Ammo should have been able to stay with his man. Cossa played the play as a pass, and Gus also played the play as a pass. I kind of wish Ammo would have followed the pass and Gus stayed with the guy. I think it would have been a different result at that point in time. I think Coach said it Friday, Nick, after that game, which obviously we're going to talk about next, but they were missing reads they don't usually miss. And that's just, they're making those mistakes. And that's what a lot of this game was, missing their reads. They weren't playing to their structure whatsoever. And you had guys just kind of not doing or not knowing what they were supposed to do, which was uncharted territory for this team. We don't see that a lot.
Well, there's more to this too. And it's his first game back with Ammo, right? But you still have to be critical of points. Like, offensively, he was great. That's what he does. But defensively, he still struggles. Like, the first goal is on him. Like, he didn't even try to. He wasn't going to win the foot race, but he just glides back to the corner. And then he didn't even try to win the board battle because another guy showed up. Like, you got to be harder on well, that's not even a forecheck. That's just being harder defensively. Like, and then the OT goal, he lost his man a little bit and could be confusion, but like 2 goals, he's on the ice and was a very key focal point for where the play started and ended. And I love the guy to death, love his offensive ability. This is why I want him on the wing. Like, his defensive lapses, like, I think I even said it to you guys. If you could take, because I know like we've had conversations about Nate, if you could combine the two of them, you'd have like just a home run player, right? Like with this, like the offensive wow of Ammo, Nate's play off the puck. Granted, they both have things they're good at and things they struggle with, but like that was the thing for me that like stuck out is it's like he still struggles in his own end, and it really showed on 2 goals. Like the first one was really bad to me, not so much as bad as the overtime goal, but the first one just like there was no hustle to get back and try to cut that guy off or pin him along the boards. I know he's not a huge guy, just into the boards and hold him there. Like, tie him up.
Do you think it was a mistake going first line center, first game back?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And then you could tell, we'll get to it. They said, you're going down to the 4th line. Like, he, again, provided great offense, but off the puck is still a problem. Like, again, love the player, but like when 2 goals are that noticeable that you're a main focal point of why they happened, and I get it's his first game back, but that's just something that I really noticed because I got to sit and watch this game, and I really focused on him and Nate.
For you.
Yeah, I got to focus on this game, so I watched him and Nate because we had a lot of discussion through the week about both of them. So,
we did. But Go ahead, Nick. Add your point, and then we'll move on.
I mean, for post game, I asked for ammo, and we asked for coach too. And I asked ammo. I said, was it for you? Was it nervous like rejoining this team at this point because they were on such a heater, and you've been off, you come back in? He's like, yeah, I was a little nervous, right? Like, I didn't want to mess up a good thing. And when I asked coach, I said, hey, like, is this because you guys say that you're disconnected, right? Or you guys aren't playing connected, is what he said. Something like that. And he said it's not on the injured guys. Like, Shy's coming off. It's a moving bus. He goes, Shy's coming here. Ammo's coming back. Like, it's a moving bus right now. So with those guys, that's where I felt too, is like the coaching decision to put him for side center. I'm like, he needed some more time back. He needed to make it more simple. And which is what they did for Saturday's game, was putting him back fourth line, make the game simpler. And that's what coach said too, post game. He said, we wanted it to just be north-south. We don't need you to be an east-west, like, which is where he was, like, on that Milwaukee game. He was literally everywhere, just buzzing. So I think they should have just eased him a little bit more in, and that's what they did with Shy too, right? And his first game's back, which you could do that with the 7. They ran 7D that night.
Yeah, I mean, I have more talking points around the specifics of that stuff after the next game, so I'll save those for then. When you look at, I'll take some positives out of this game, right? MBN 2.9. Ammo was able to get a point in his first game back, which was nice to see. Danielson finding the back of the net was good. Leonard getting another goal, getting his 21st of the season was good. And Eddie finding the back of the net again after a little bit of a dry spell there was a positive. So those are the positives I'll pull away from it. Obviously, defensively, lacking the structure, lacking the spark. There's your big negatives there. And you still get a point, which is great. Your last game before this was a shutout by Texas. And you go, oh boy, and then you put up 4 goals. All right, you found your scoring still exists. It's great to see, but you take away a point. It sucks that it's a loss, but at the same time, we have so few, you can't really hang your head up.
Another thing too is how well Becker's playing.
Dude, Becker's been so good.
Yeah, like the last couple of weeks, he's really starting to find his offense, which is a great thing to see, right? Especially when you've had ammo out, like he comes back, that gives you another option down the middle to maybe slot him over for a game or two, see how it works. When you have, more performance down in depth, and I thought he played really well. Nate's goal was great too. That was a great play by him and Austin Watson.
It really was. And I don't have Becker listed as talking points later on in this episode, so I want to mention, I saw a play on Saturday from him, and it was the shiftiest I've ever seen him move. He was skating around the net with the puck full speed, quick stop, shift back, get the puck across ice to make a pass and get a breakout out of the zone. And I was just like, this kid's confidence level has just gone up and up and up with these guys out of the lineup getting this opportunity. I mean, we've seen him play first line center, second line center, third line center, fourth line. You've seen him all over the place, and he's been able to do things wherever he's at on the ice. Andre Becker has had kind of the coming out party this season, and I really love to see it, especially like him and Raklovsky both. Both those guys have had great middle points in the season here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do with the rest of it. Like, sure, they're not scoring a ton of goals, but Becker's got a buttload of assists right now, and Raklovsky's out here doing his thing. And when you put Raklovsky, Tralmaks, and Becker together, it seems to be magic every time. But when you start getting these guys back, the lineup's going to shift. Things have to change, and you can't just be like, yeah, that's going to be the permanent third line, because you've got to move things around. So it's, again, I don't envy the coaching staff at this point in time with the decisions they have to make. But when we talk about the next game, there's going to be a key line that I want to talk about that I don't think you can take out of the lineup.
Yeah, that line has been fantastic. Raklovsky, Tralmaks. We've watched these kids last year, and we talked about it on the last episode too. Like, they have elevated their game. They've been playing so well. I think it helps too that their confidence that they're playing with an Olympian, right? So we don't want to forget that aspect. Is that maybe that's helped elevate their game, or maybe that's helped elevate Tralmaks' game as well. I wanted to ask
fun
Coach,
for everyone.
It is, and I wanted to ask Coach about it, and I wanted to ask Eddie last night, and we just kind of, with all the chaos that was going on behind us, it was tough to get that question in. But it's that line has been one of the more solid lines this year. And, consistent, and this line will be very important through the playoffs, I feel. And I'll talk playoffs because we're that far ahead right now. I think we'll clinch here in a couple weeks.
That's what it feels like. Good Lord. All right. We're going to hit a quick ad break. When we come back, we got 2 more games to talk about, our 3 stars of the week, a standings update, and any news around the AHL that we feel we should share with you.
The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey, hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 4676369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
And welcome back. All right, let's talk about Friday's game with the Rockford Ice Hogs. When you look at the score sheet and see the Griffins lost 3-1, you go, oh, that's a rough game. 2 of the goals were empty netters. Let's start there, right?
But it was
Rockford had 2 empty net goals, but it was a rough game overall still. Up until the 19-minute, 45-second mark of the third period, Rockford was pitching a shutout. The Griffins were about to potentially get shut out back-to-back times at home. And you never want to see that with a team that's this hot. Like, it's a garbage time goal from Leonard to ruin that shutout, but I'm also so thankful that happened because you just don't know what the thought process would have been after getting shut out back-to-back times at home against Texas and Rockford. Like, those aren't teams that should be shutting you out. I will give the rookie goalie in Rockford some credit here. He gets a little credit from us. He was seeing the puck so well in this game, stopping 31-32. And the goal that he allowed, like, the entire Rockford defense just let Leonard have the puck behind the net, walk around the net and shoot far side on the goalie. Like, nothing he could do about that. But overall, he played an outstanding game. Who didn't play an outstanding game? The Griffins. This was a game that was very frustrating to watch when you've watched this team play so well all season. They did not play their structure. They did not play to their identity. And you look at the lineup going into this one, and this is the talking point that I mentioned I wanted to have going into this game. They lacked the energy line. That fourth line this season with Carson Bantle on it, and I don't want to be like he's the only guy that provides that energy, but man, Carson Bantle is just a different beast when he's on the ice, and you can't take him out. He's got to be on that fourth line, be out there being a little ball of hate, dude.
Little?
Like he's not little.
He's a mutant.
A big ball of hate. Sorry. I understand there's people coming back and there's decisions to be made, but that fourth line has to have him. It doesn't have to have Doucette. It doesn't have to have Hillebrand, even though Hillebrand is a great piece with that. But Bantle has to be on the ice, and his presence was lacking in this game.
Yeah, that Toledo fourth line, it's usually Moyle, Hillebrand, and Bantle. Like, it's such a good line. Like, they've started the games off with this line because they set a good tone. They set the energy. And so, and I know a couple of these guys are banged up. I get it. It's just, you got to have Bantle. You got to have that spark. You got to have it. They came out in this game, the first period, they played so well. Grand Rapids kept to their structure. Rockford had, I think, 2 shots on net.
Yeah, Griffins outshot him 11-2.
Like, they came out, they're like, okay, we've had 2 losses in a row. It's not going to be a third. We're going to play our game. We're going to play our structure. We've got this. We're going to get this back on the
Track.
Rail tracks. Railroad tracks. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. It's like
Tralmaks.
They're like, okay, we got it. We got to reset. We got to get this. This was the 5th game of the segment too. They break these games down into 5-game sets, and they lost this set, and they were not happy about this. And so you come out with the energy, and then I think the second period, they just kind of let Rockford back into this, and Rockford starts getting the momentum. They're like, hey, we've got this. We can figure this out, and we're going to be able to capitalize on this. And then they did. They finally broke them in the third period, and that's when it's like, when Lenny scored, you're like, okay, I still had hope. I was like Brandon 3 years ago when the Griffins were just absolutely terrible. And they're like, you get 1 goal and you're like, okay, they might be able to come back here. And I'm like, abandoned. They're down by 4 goals. They're not staging a comeback here. Like this game is over. But I have this hope this year for every game that we're so close. Like that Milwaukee game, I'm like, we're going to be able to do it. And then we get let down. Rockford, like, I'm like, we're right there. We might be able to pull out another goal here. And then we get that empty net against us. And I'm like, it's done. Like the game is over. We're moving on. Like, not excited to go do post game at this point because it's never fun to do it in a loss.
Yeah, no, it's never fun to do in a loss. But look, like the Griffins weren't playing their structure again. Like I said to you guys in our group during the game, I'm just like, they're lacking the hunt mentality where a guy would go for the puck. And if he misses, there's another guy there. Like, it was just lacking in these 2 games. And you talk about Milwaukee and the Rockford game. It wasn't great. The only positive in this game I'll take away is that Cossa bounced back from an iffy performance on Tuesday and had a great game in this one.
Yeah, he did bounce back. The other thing too with this game is I looked at this goalie because I was like, where have we played this guy yet? Like the name is not familiar to me. And I went back. He played last time we played it, we scored 5 goals. Tonight, obviously we get the one on him, but a lot of the shots this guy was just seeing. Like there was no traffic in front of him. There was nobody like in front. It was no dirty goals. It was just he was seeing everything. It was wide open for him. So like, of course, the goalie's gonna be great tonight, being able to see everything. Cossa with a good bounce back. He's like we've said before, like he's been consistent this year. And that's the most important thing. He's locked in. He's been consistent. He had that bounce back. Yeah, it wasn't a crazy shutout or crazy like stand on your head performance, but I can't fault him for the goals this night, right? Like
no, 2 of them he wasn't in the net for,
right?
Like you can't fault him for the loss.
That's
like,
why they scored.
Yeah, you could point to special teams, but it's the structure, right? They just needed to play to their identity, and they didn't in this game. I don't think anybody stood out to having a great game other than Sebastian Cossa. And, you got to remember as a fan of the team, with the team being this good, no matter who they're playing, they're going to get that team's best that night. It's a guarantee that every team walks into Van Andel going, this is the top dog, let's take them down. They bring full playoff intensity. The positive to that is that the Griffins are getting experience to that. They're going to be so well seasoned when it comes to playoffs and that intensity, because that's what every game this season has been for them, except for maybe when they won, 10-1. I don't think the other team maybe brought their best result that night. And you look at maybe the Rockford, 8-3 or whatever that was, that game they had in Rockford this season too. Like it's every team's bringing their best, and the Griffins have to be their best every night. And that's tough. Like you can't bring in your best for a full 72-game season is a tough ask. And they've done a hell of a job so far. And again, yeah, it's 3 losses in a row, one of them being in overtime, but you can't be down about it. You just go, it's concerning, but at the same time, how will they respond, right? That's the question you ask every game. Okay, how do you respond to almost getting shut out back-to-back times at home when you head into Saturday's game? And, the old saying goes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, Milwaukee didn't take any shots in this game. They had 10 shots on goal in this game. The Griffins locked it down. I could have made a joke about Milwaukee's refrigerator not running, and they should probably look at it with their fridge jerseys they brought to Old Time Hockey Night in Grand Rapids with Saturday night's game. Let's talk about that first. We don't get to see other teams' specialty jerseys very often in the American League on the road when they're when they're in Van Andel, I should say. And seeing a team bring in a specialty jersey while the Griffins were wearing a specialty jersey, it was kind of cool.
Was cool. Definitely. I like those fridge ones. Like it's so weird. It's so different. It's just, it's a vibe. And then to see, we talked about it too. It's like these jerseys paying homage to the Centennials, like that the Red Wings have. Great look out there. I wish I didn't realize. I don't know why, but I didn't realize that they weren't going to wear them again. I know they auctioned them off last night, but I was like, I don't know. I guess I just wanted one more game to see them in. And those jersey prices, I went through them this morning, were just absolutely nuts. Like Dom China was $2,000. There was a couple. John Leonard was $1,000. I think Tralmaks was $1,000 as well. Like those jerseys were hard to come by last night. So unfortunately for anybody that was trying to get one and didn't get one, but I wish they would have did something a little different. Like we had talked about the Owls or you said the Drive, right?
No, I said the Owls would have been the one. I think the biggest miss is when Milwaukee's wearing a refrigerator jersey that we didn't bring back the toaster. Like that's the biggest miss of all time, right? But I know, Trav, you raised your hand. You want to say something, but I have to say something to you Toledo fans in this one. Nolan Moyle's jersey went for more than MBN's. You guys are psychopaths. I love it. But oh my God, like the Toledo jerseys used to be like, okay, like if I want this specialty jersey and I don't care whose name is on it, that's the jersey I can kind of sneak in and get. Y'all have ruined that for us. So thank you for saving me money, but y'all are crazy and it's so much fun.
Yeah, they have completely flooded the Grand Rapids market.
Oh yeah.
And it happens in Cleveland too. Like with the Cleveland, like anytime one of our guys goes on loan and one of their jerseys available, absurd. Anyway, the jersey matchup was great. I think I'll give you my opinion. I think that's better than both of their regular jerseys for the Griffins. I really, really, really liked that jersey. It's just my opinion. But I also prefer the old logo. Me and Brandon both like the old logo a lot. Nick's the one that likes the newer one. Now for Milwaukee, it's a hell of a lot better than whatever they're wearing in that outdoor game.
God.
So I'll give them some credit there, because that's just throw it in the garbage. But yeah, it was really good. I wanted one, and there was no way. Like I wasn't paying for one like that. That's one where I hope they make a replica like they did with the red kettle jersey, because I think it would sell. Like,
oh yeah, 100% would. I'd love to get my hands on a replica of that one. It was a sweet jersey, great jersey matchup. And yeah, Milwaukee's outdoor jersey sucks. But back to the game, right? Like we said, Milwaukee's held to 10 shots on goal. The Griffins win this one 2-0. Michael Postava gets his first AHL shutout and does the ice cold tip the net over like Askarov used to do, which Askarov used to play for Milwaukee. So I think there was a little bit of something there. I don't know if Cossa went and hugged him and said, do it. But he did it. It was ice cold, especially when you only have to stop 10 shots. But at the same time, those 10 shots weren't like low danger opportunities. He had to make some big saves in this one, even though he only faced 10. Posty looked fantastic in this game. And I told Nick during the game, there's something about this goalie that I love. And it's that he does not give a crap. Like you'll see when they come out and shovel the ice during the media timeouts, right? You'll see a goalie come back to his crease, make sure everything's aligned and good. Postava slowly skates into the crease, turns around, sets for the faceoff. He does not care. He's just that vibe of, I'm here, I'm going to stop pucks. And God, I love that about him. And he's such a fun goalie to watch play. He's got this kind of aura about him where he's just acrobatic, athletic goaltender that can make big saves when he needs to be. He's twitchy, he's fun, and just the vibe of that little celly at the end of the game. I was sad I missed it when I had my phone out because all the other chaos that happened at the end of the game we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, good for Posty, right?
I think Cossa did say something to him at the end there because they were talking for a while. Then he turned around and he did it. And rewatching the clip from it this morning, I think either Griffins or somebody at the game had posted it. So I think he did it, and I'm glad he did. Just to continue the rivalry with Milwaukee. We get into late night antics as well, or late game antics with them. It's just with who else? Zach LaRue. But to bounce back, right? You lose 2 games to Milwaukee in overtime in a dramatic fashion, and then you keep them to 10 shots. And they had 4 in the third period, and I think 2 or 3 of them came with the extra man.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they just did such a good job defensively, keeping them down, keeping them locked in, and playing to the structure, right? They kept it simple. There was a huge, Dan Watson said there was a huge meeting, and I think Tralmaks said it too, is there was a meeting before the game today, and they, discussed a lot, and they went out and they proved it. They didn't just talk, they showed up. So I was happy about the effort, and I was happy about the result.
Yeah, they played to their structure and did their thing, and I mean, just look at, 10 shots, but in the second period, Milwaukee only had 2. The Griffins had 14. Like, they just locked them down, and it was a beautiful thing to see.
Great defense. When I got out of my snowplow truck, I was like, so see, the Griffins gave them absolutely nothing tonight, and you texted me like, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to the hockey world.
Yeah, but like, I just want to jump to Postava again real quick. Like, guys, he's got a .939 save percentage, 1.68 goals against average. Like, undrafted signing out of the Czech league. Like, I know we've talked about him a lot, but like, you're starting to and he missed a lot of time, and he's come back and he hasn't missed a beat. Like, he's just a very, very good goaltender. And the little pettiness with the net was so good. So
Oh, it's so good.
I just wanted to say, like, that's a great, great, great find by the scouting staff of Detroit to find him.
The
He almost
Griffins
had an assist
officially
too. Like he was
almost. I was hoping he'd get a goalie goal. I was like, let's go. Let's see this guy get a goalie goal tonight.
We were
The
talking
Griffins
about it.
officially have a two-headed monster in net. Like, there's no doubt about it. They have a two-headed monster with Sebastian Cossa and Michael Postava, and you could say a three-headed monster with Carter Gylander in the system too. Like,
it doesn't matter who's in there.
I don't think it does, but it's clear that it doesn't just fall on the defense, right? Like, these goalies do make big saves and do big things to keep these games close or keep the other team just completely irrelevant like they did in this game.
In this game too, you got to remember, this is something that Brandon, you brought up. I think it was in the second period. Ian Mitchell went out. And so they're down a defenseman. So they're rotating through. So this wasn't all on the defense this game. Like the forwards had to play their part. The goalie had to play his part as well. It's funny, like looking at the goalie stats right now, is Cossa's statistically the worst goalie out of the three that are here for GR. It's say percentage goals against.
He's leading most games.
Yeah, he's played most games. He's got the most shutouts. But yeah, it's just funny to see that. And you're like, well, that's, looking at the eye test, he's the better goalie out of the three. But just funny to see that now.
It's insane, man. And yeah, I'm glad you brought up Mitchell, because I think it was halfway through the first period he headed down the tunnel and we never saw him again. So they did this defensive effort down a player for the majority of the game. That right there alone is impressive when you think about what this team has gone through this year. And we hope Mitchell's okay. Hopefully we'll get an update sometime this week. I don't know if he participated in the Great Skate or not. If someone saw him out there, let us know in the comments to at least know that he was skating and good. And who knows if it was precautionary. And Dom Shine left the game too randomly near the end of the game. I don't know if he took a stick to the wrist or what, but threw his gloves off immediately and skated and headed down the tunnel. And I believe he was good after that one. I know he missed a couple of games with an injury. Hopefully it's not just this like a lingering injury that just got flared up with whatever contact that was. Hopefully we see him back in the next game, but obviously we'll provide updates when we know more on that too. Let's talk about the goals in this game, right? You had 2 goals, obviously. One in the power play at home, though, which, Nick, you pointed out the stat last night going into this game. They were like 10% at home. Like, for some reason, the power play just doesn't click at home, and it had to be good for them to see one go to the back of the net on the power play. But both goals were dirty, gritty goals. Like, it's what was going to be needed to beat Matt Murray. Matt Murray's a fantastic goaltender for Milwaukee. And both goals were just kind of scrambles. Like Driesy's goal, that puck goes on net, ends up behind Murray. Driesy's laying down or sitting down, somehow gets his stick on the puck and puts it in the back of the net. And you're just like, yeah, that's the type of goals we needed in this game. That's the type of goals we needed all week in reality.
Yeah, I felt so bad though, because when we scored that power play goal, I like grabbed you and I was like, we scored a power play goal at home. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm on press row. I shouldn't be celebrating or screaming. And I was like, oh man, but I couldn't help it. Like we hadn't scored one in like 2 months, it felt like. So apologize to the Griffins on that. But yeah, I mean, we get one and it's a get. And we stopped them from scoring on the power play. Like that, their power play is so good. So special teams was huge in this game. We needed a dirty goal. We needed a gritty goal. That the Dries one, I think it just kind of bounced off of him, right?
No, he got his stick on that and shoved it back there.
And then Bantle, like it just
Bantle's bounced off him,
off his foot. So it's like you need the bounces, right? And this was a game where we did everything defensively, and it didn't feel like we were really. I don't know. For me, I felt still nervous throughout the entire game that Milwaukee might figure out a way to do this, even with the 4 shots on net at that point. But I still felt nervous until the very final whistle blew, because we did control a lot. We did have a lot of shots, but I didn't feel like there were real great chances.
So they're 12.2% at home with 6 power play goals. Like those are your numbers as of this morning. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nate was the one that shot the puck or got the puck it looked like he shot the puck, right?
Yeah, so Leonard made a great cross ice pass and Nate just does a 1T. Nice little blast on net. And it bounces all over the place, ends up behind Murray, and Driesy gets a stick on it. So it was...
You don't expect that from Nate, and he's done it twice this week, just ripping a one-timer. Like he's normally the guy. He's normally the guy that's going across the sheet to the guy to shoot the puck. So it's just weird that he ended up in that spot to shoot the puck, because he's normally like on that right point making a circle, and then they give it to him, and he's looking to dish off low or through the seam. So
Yeah, it
I
was
found
such a
that
great
interesting.
pass by Lenny and a great board battle win by Shine down in the corner for Lenny to be able to pick that puck up and skate to the half wall there and shove that puck across the ice. But it was such a great pass.
And what he said too is like the focus for Nate being down here is to get offense, right? Is to get the goals, to get the points. So, I mean, maybe that was the message too from Detroit: is come down here, start shooting more, right? Put that puck on net, see what happens, and that's what happened, right? Like he gets an assist off of it. He sets up a great play, a dirty goal. That's what this team needed.
And I talked about it with the last game, right? Where I said Carson Bantle can't be out of the lineup. And you look at the lineup going into this game, and the fourth line looked very different. You had Bantle back in, you had Hillebrand on the right side, you had Amadeus Lombardi down the middle on the fourth line there. And when you look at that, you look at two guys that can go out there, cause chaos and clear space for him to go do his thing. And that line resulted in that first goal. Lagesson shot the puck after a nice pass from Lombardi, and it goes off Bantle's foot, obviously, into the net. But that line generated the first goal, and you get Bantle and Hillebrand out there doing their thing, generating offense. Like, that's exactly what you want to see, and it kind of reestablishes that those guys need to be in the lineup. I know Toledo probably wants Hillebrand back. I'm sorry, I don't want you to have him back. I really like him here, and I know there's pieces in the lineup that need to be in the lineup and all that stuff, but that fourth line, it has to stay. That can't go.
Even
Well,
the fourth line at Rockford was good too, and that was the Tralmaks, Becker, Raklovsky line, and I think,
But it didn't provide the spark.
it didn't, but it was. I think Dan's playing matchups on this one because that third line was a little different. You bring Emil back, it kind of rejuvenated. It kind of mixed things up a little bit. Very different fourth line with seeing Emil on the fourth line going from first to fourth. You're like, whoa. But that, I like the fourth. I like that Toledo fourth line. Like that, it needs to stay. You've got to have Carson. You've got to have Hillebrand there. And then, usually it's Moyle center, but you throw Emil there, right? It helps clear that up, and you don't jump him right into the first line where he's like, okay, what's going on? Like he's more, disoriented, right? Of coming back. You ease him back into the lineup. And I think that's the play, right?
well, here's another element to this. Like, goes back to what I said earlier. Like, Amo didn't have a great week defensively, and they want him to become a better 200-foot player. It's probably a reason why he was demoted to the fourth line. And it goes more into just, if you're not going to excel at all aspects, like, you got to send a message. Not saying that he was bad, but it's partially, okay, you're going to go down here. You're still going to provide offense, but you got to earn the minutes. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, you don't go from the first line where you had two tough plays, and then all of a sudden you're on the fourth line. Like, that doesn't just happen. There's more than one reason for that.
I think when you look at this team, I think the status of being first, second, third, or fourth line, people focus too much on it when the Griffins strategy is they have four lines that can roll. Like, that's what they want. And their fourth line could be their first line. Their fourth line can go up against any first line in the American League. So I don't think anyone on that team looks at it as I'm a fourth liner. I'm part of those four lines that can roll is how these guys look at it. I think that's the best way to see it. Sure, yeah, you could say on paper it's a demotion, but at the same time, I don't think anyone in this organization views those things that way. And I think that's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing to have. And I think that's the right mentality to go about it.
I think it's just an opposite message of what Dan told me on Friday. So that's where I'm like, he needs to ease him back in. He said that. He's like, it's not their fault that, they're coming in on this, right? It's a fast-paced team. It's a moving bus. They're jumping on it. They're trying to hold on, kind of thing. So I don't think it's a demotion based off of how we played. Obviously, you wish it was better. You wish Emil had played better on the Milwaukee game, but I don't think it warranted anything from his play from Rockford to then Milwaukee to be on the fourth. I think it's just an ease.
I think I'd wish he played better Friday night. Friday night, I don't think he played great. Honestly, out of the game, I know two of the Milwaukee goals on Tuesday, you could really focus in on him. I just don't think he had a great game Friday. I think the other thing I pointed out to you guys is the most important thing here is that Sheldon Dries should always be at center on this team. He is one of the, if not the best center on the Griffins team. He's one of the best face-off guys. He plays the position so well. You can't have him shoved off on the wing on the second line. Like, that top line, as much as you want Nate and Ammo playing those top line minutes, that top line has to be Shine, Dries, Leonard. It has to be. the results are different every time those three play together. And the results are usually positive. But Driesy's impact that he makes playing center is crazy, especially when you look at like our second best center in terms of faceoffs is Gabriel Seeger, and he was scratched in this game.
I don't think he should ever be scratched either.
I don't disagree with you. And I think it goes back to the discussion of ammo to the wing, especially when you look at some of the wingers that might not have had their best games recently. I don't think Tyler Angle has played his best hockey recently. I don't think Austin Watson's played his best hockey recently. And you could put those guys in the wing and probably get the same, if not better results, right? So all in all, I was happy to see Bantle and Hilly back in the lineup. I was happy to see Driesy back at center. I think those are some key pieces that have to be in those positions for this team to continue to do what they want to do and just roll through this league.
You bring up Watson, like on a night where you have, Hillbrand out or Moyle out or Bantle out, like let's not forget Austin Watson's a big guy. He could slot into that line really well, especially if they did move ammo to the wing, because he would play in the top 6 somewhere, which is mostly where Watson's been playing. So like that again, like not saying that would be how Toledo would get one of their guys back, but it more or less would be you're still going to have size with skill down there. And there's that energy and awareness of like Austin Watson can provide a lot with his size and would fit in well because, to be real, playing system, he's a better version of Bantle. Like,
listen, Homer, you can't have him back. All right.
I'm just
kidding.
Pointing out like if you want to try this and move ammo to the wing, you can slot him down and you have the same version of the same line.
I think all in all, either way, no matter how we split it, like there's obviously things you can critique and things we could say we change. This was just a great response after losing 3 in a row. This was an unreal response from the team. And I think it kind of rights the ship and gets them right back on track to where they want to go. And if the worst thing we're talking about in the middle of January with this team is a 3-game skid where they still got a point in that 3 games, we're having a hell of a season. Like at the end of the day, that's the lowest point for this team so far this season. And we're in the middle of January. And it was just a 3-game skid that you still took a point away.
Nick, where are you at on the panic button here?
It doesn't exist. It better not exist.
Come on. With him?
No, I brought up the warning bell last episode because of the power play, because of how bad it's been, right? Especially at home. We had talked about that. And what did they do? They responded with a Saturday morning. It was a huge portion I saw on the schedule was power play meeting and penalty kill meeting. And they responded with both, right? They shut Milwaukee down on the power play, and then they created their own power play goal as well. So, I mean, they know what's wrong. They're working on it. It's now you're juggling guys coming back from injury. You're putting guys back in to the lineup. You're getting guys back from Detroit with Nate. Like it's gonna cause a little bit of a disconnect, and that's what coach said too in the presser. So it's, for me, like I don't want to lose. I hate losing. It's 3 in a row. That's rough. I hate that. Coach was pissed. I'll say coach was pissed Friday. He did not like losing the segment. Dries brought it back up Saturday night. We lost the segment. Not happy about it. We responded. I think too is their practices are so intense. They've had to be at the top of their game every game, and it gets tiring, right? This is why you see teams in the NHL, they flip that second gear when they get to the playoffs, right? You're like, whoa, they've got to save some in the tank, and maybe this is that time that things are gonna fall off. It's okay, but it's how you respond. It's how you get back to it, and I think they did that. Now, if it continued, right, if they lost another game to Milwaukee, let's say the game was flipped, we had 10 shots on net, then I'd be like, okay, there's something drastically wrong right now. It's not how you lose, but it's just like the effort that you give in the loss too, right? And I think that's what they've corrected. And it's hard. You're not going to win every game. I get that. But the 5-game segments, if you stick on those, and they're gonna be good. Like the Olympics is gonna bring a different element to this game because you're gonna have Tralmaks out. You don't know who's gonna be injured.
It's one guy.
Yeah, but that line has not been separated this entire year though. Those 3 guys have played together.
Adapt or die.
They've separated this season a few times.
It's no different than if somebody got called up.
All right, then never mind. Throw the Olympics thing out of the way. there'll be other guys that'll go to the Olympics too from other teams. So we'll throw that out. But
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that'll deal with it. Like, it is what it is.
Sure.
I
I'm
think
not saying it in a bad thing. I'm just like, it's like now if there's 3-4 injuries in Detroit and 3 guys get called up and he's gone, yeah, then there's a problem.
They wouldn't. Detroit doesn't play during the Olympics, so it's not a concern.
Right. Yeah, I think it's one. And I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it.
Anyways,
And there might be a trade, right?
No.
Back
no,
on
that's not where I was
topic.
going.
Back on topic, he says. Last piece with this game, like you could tell the Griffins frustrated Milwaukee, but I thought we were going to have our own Madison Square Garden centennial moment at the end of the game. Milwaukee fired the puck at the net after the buzzer, and just all hell broke loose, and Zach LaRue was the centerpiece of that for Milwaukee there. I was waiting for a bench clear. It was a good little tilt between everyone there at the end, and we posted the nice video of it on the social media pages there. But I was like, come on, we're going to get a bench clear in our vintage jerseys. We're going full Detroit right now. I love it.
It looked like it started in warm-ups with Leonard and the goaltender for
I don't know what they were talking about.
Like, it looked like there was some animosity between them two brewing. And then, like, I seen the post when I got done working. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, this got a little crazy at the end. But then, like, I seen the post with Leonard about 20 minutes later. And I was like, I wonder if this just escalated all game and it reached a boiling point.
Milwaukee was on their antics after the whistle all game long. I think AKL took a weird hit well after the whistle, too. I'm surprised that didn't result in a fight. Lagesson, well after play, heading into a media timeout, gets dropped by Moreno for no reason. And I'm just like, all right, this is how this game's going to be. But you could tell the Griffins were obviously frustrating Milwaukee, and they got frustrated and let it get the best of them, and they couldn't put up shots on goal. That's how you get to be in games, is shoot the puck and have the chance to score. And well, they only shot it 10 times. So there's that. But that's all the antics of that. The Griffins respond great, get that win. Let's talk about the 3 stars of the week. And it was honestly pretty easy for me to pick these ones. I'll see if you guys disagree, but I had Ammo at 3rd star with 2 assists this week in his first games back. I fully agree with that statement there. I think he played great in those first games back. And, not a lot of guys had 2 multi-point weeks with the low scoring this week. So Ammo gets the 3rd star.
I was going to say Posty. Shutout's a shutout, but...
Yeah, I can't disagree with that one there. I had a 2nd star as MBN, 3-point week, 3 assists this week for him. Another fantastic week for MBN doing his thing.
I like
no disagreement there.
Yeah, I won't argue. MBN's played one that hit Friday night was just sick.
Dude.
And Drisey, I think Max asked Drisey about him, and he just said he's playing really well. Like, very happy with his performance. He's going to be very good here, and that's what you want to see. A guy, first year, just got drafted, comes over, and he's put up points. Right? If he was here from the start of the season, I bet you he'd be, right up there with Lenny. I mean, he is right up there with Lenny, but I bet you he would have been top on the team. So, yeah, very stoked with MBN. I think he's been the hot pick for Ignite the Nest too lately.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the 1st star of the week, who else but John Leonard? 2 goals and an assist this week. I mean, even a garbage time goal being one of those goals, but at the same time, Lenny's just continuing to do John Leonard things. And an all-star nomination in the 3-point week, including 2 goals. He gets the 1st star this week.
I like it. I want to throw an honorable mention at you.
Yeah.
William Vollander. I think he has been playing very well as of late, the last couple games.
Wally's put together a good 10, 11 game set here. It's been very nice to see. I know it's not resulting in points as consistently as you might hope, but at the same time, Wallander's been very good lately.
Adapting. That's my thing with him. Like, he was if you go back and look at his stats from the SHL, like, he produced offense a little more than most defensemen did. Obviously not to ASP level when he came over, but he's big. Like, he's just got to learn to use his body, maybe adapt his role to a more defensive style. But yeah, he's been way better the last, like you said, what was it, 10, 11 games or so.
Yeah.
And I think it's just if he can adapt himself, the way that he plays a little bit more, it's only going to help him, get that potential to the next level. It's figuring out, okay, I have a bigger body. I got to start using it better. And that can be a tough thing to do. Like, Soderblom struggled with that for a long time because he was so good with the puck. And when he hit people, he would almost hurt people. Wallander's not that big, but at the same time, it's just maybe an adjustment to his game that he's made that okay, I got to be more well-rounded. I got to be maybe better in my defensive end a little bit. And I think it's showing because, like you said, the points aren't there, but his overall play has been way more noticeable in the last 10 games.
Got a great
Yeah.
assist on Friday at the Rockford game or against Rockford. Brandon and I were watching the blue light pretty closely last night, and we saw the puck skip over a couple defensemen, a couple guys, and it was never him. So it's something that, he's worked on, and it seemed like every time we were watching it, it was always him before, but it's really locked
The
it
ice
in.
has looked rough.
What? The ice?
The ice has looked
Yeah.
rough these past
Yeah.
few games. I know there's a lot more events happening consistently at Van Andel right now between the Rise and the Gold and any other events that are happening. The ice seems to be taking a little bit of a beating, which kind of sucks. But yeah, it's all he's been doing good. I can agree with an honorable mention there for him for sure. Moving on from that, let's talk about the standings across the American Hockey League. We'll obviously start with the Central Division that the Griffins play in. Obviously, still leading that division, 63 points, and the second place team has 44. So even with a 3-game skid there, you still have a commanding lead and a .875 winning percentage as a team. So nothing wrong with that. Chicago in second, Manitoba in third, Milwaukee in fourth, Rockford in fifth, Texas in sixth, and Iowa in seventh place there. We head over to the Pacific Division. We have a new leader in that division. The Ontario Reign have taken over the first spot in that division over the Colorado Eagles and Bakersfield in third there. And in last place in that division, you still have Abbotsford. We head over to the north. You got Laval leading that division still. Syracuse and Toronto being second and third, actually tied for second place, I should say. Utica still in last place in that division. Wilkes-Barre and Providence leading the Atlantic Division there, tied with 53 points. Providence actually listed in second place, but they have the better winning percentage right now. That's broken. But at the same time, that's your top two, Charlotte in third and Springfield in last place in that division there as well. Griffins still leading the American Hockey League. Obviously, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. What they're guaranteed a winning record right now through, I think it's the end of March, which is just an absolutely stupid, insane stat.
I just wanted to point out one thing with Utica. I seen a photo of their building. Holy Christ, the inside of that looks amazing.
It's mini Madison Square Garden.
I didn't know that.
It's sweet.
I was on, I had our Twitter open on my phone. I was logged in on that. And the first thing that popped up was a picture of Utica, from the ice. And I look up, I'm like, are they playing in the Garden? I'm like, no, that's not MSG, but it looks like it. So it's just one thing. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was waiting for you to go to the end and then come to me. But
that was the end.
I was like, holy crap. That looks like MSG. I was like, that'd be a place to go check out.
Yeah, it would be a cool place to go check out. It sucks that their team's not very good consistently ever since the affiliation switched from Vancouver to New Jersey. Because when they were affiliated with Vancouver, they were a monster in this league, but they also had Jacob Markstrom at that time too. Young Jacob Markstrom was a different beast in the American Hockey League. That kid was insane. I remember we played against him in the playoffs twice, and he was the most frustrating goaltender I've ever watched this team play against.
Isn't it funny? He's a Devil now. It's full circle.
Yeah, right? It kind of worked out for him.
I was going to say Utica had a big win last night. Ontario had a big win last night against Texas with 4.1 seconds left.
1.3 seconds left.
My dyslexia. But yeah, the puck bounced right over Remy Poirier's glove and into the net. So thank you, Ontario, for that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. News and updates around the American Hockey League. The AHL obviously released all the all-star rosters. I'm not going to read through the entire roster. I'll put a link in the description of the video on YouTube for the link to the roster so you can see who's representing every team and who's going to be there. I think they fit in an extra guy with Rockford, with it being in Rockford when you look at the overall of who could have been there, but I'll leave that for another day. A weird piece of news. I don't know if you guys saw this. This happened last night, and it's kind of sad news. I'm sorry to end the show on a sad note here, but during the Laval-Manitoba game, Manitoba was up 3-0 with about a minute and something left, and they called the game there. The game ended at that point because a fan suffered a heart attack in the stands and passed away, unfortunately. Absolutely wild story. I just saw the league post their note about it and their condolences to it. And our condolences as well to the family and that one. That's not something you see very often. And it's pretty sad when you're just enjoying a hockey game and that's it right there. So absolutely wild story out of the American Hockey League there. And then this piece of news goes over to the Red Wings, actually. Sorry, I'm going to kind of derail here. This is a new development as well. After today's game, Mickey Redmond will be away from the team for a medical procedure. So just sending our thoughts and good vibes over to Mick there. And it won't be the same listening to Red Wings games without him. Obviously, his color commentary is some of the best in the league, and we'll miss here we go, as something great is about to happen. But we hope Mick's going to be all right and takes the time he needs away. And yeah, it's just sucks when the team's doing so well and you have to have a guy like that step away, right?
Yeah, like you said it best. The look out or here we go. Like, something magical is about to happen. He has an eye for the big moment. Like, he just knows, like, and it's partially because he played, right? And he was an elite player in his day. He just knows when to say the right thing, like always. And they've had the best broadcast crew for what, 20 years?
Oh,
20,
yeah.
30
Easily
years.
the best.
Is it 30? It might be 30 at this point. He's a treat, man. I hope he gets taken care of what he needs to and he's back. He said that they timed this all with the Olympic break in mind and that he wouldn't miss a ton of regional broadcasts because there's a lot of national games that Detroit's going to have between now and then also. So yeah, hopefully he gets better soon and he's back behind the mic sooner than later.
Yeah, he did say in his statement he's looking forward to being behind the mic for an exciting playoff run. So you love when Mick says something like that, right? Well, sorry to end the show with two kind of downer notes there. Those just popped up as I refreshed the feed, and I had other things I would have talked about with this here, but I think with that, we'll wrap this one up because I'm about to have a massive coughing fit. I can feel it. I'm still not 100%, but I'm happy I was able to get back on the show, and we'll wrap it up here. Thank you all for tuning into another Grand Rapids Griffins update. Stay tuned. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a Toledo Walleye update out this week with my work travel and Travis's weather down there. Who knows, but we'll do our best to get it out there. Look forward to seeing Toledo fans on Friday when I'm at the game. If you see me, feel free to say hello. And hopefully I'll be able to also make it to Kalamazoo on Saturday to also watch the Walleye play there in Kalamazoo, because it's kind of no excuse when Kalamazoo is so close to Grand Rapids to not make it down there and see them play when the Griffins aren't playing that same night.
Your suspension would be over.
That's true, yeah. Maybe Hawk will give me some good grace and just lift it on Friday. I'd love to get to chat with the guy. So much has happened this season, and I haven't gotten to see him too much. Hopefully we'll get the chance to talk to him. But with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank our sponsors of the show, DraftKings and Everything Hockey Clothing Company. When you're betting with DraftKings, use code THPN. And when you're shopping at everythinghockey.com, use code WEST to save a few bucks off your order. And of course, we'll thank our Patreon subscribers as well. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, head over to patreon.com/Hockeytown West podcast. Check out what we offer over there. And the lovely folks that have already joined us over there are
Michael Asate, Alan Foch, Lori Foch, Derek Sleezer, Griffin Not From GR, Elaine Grace, John in Florida, Tyler Ingalls, Darren Swartz, Peter Grell, Zach, Joe Schroeder, and Bryson DeChambeau is elite. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all. Everybody have a fantastic week. If you're out and about traveling with the weather this week, be safe. It's going to be a wild winter week. So the winter clearly is back in West Michigan, at least for sure. So be safe out there. Enjoy it. And if you went to the Great Skate, hopefully you stayed warm and enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll talk more about that event next week on the show. With that, everyone, as always, go Griffins, go Walleye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod and your hosts, Nick at GR Hockey Guy, Brandon at Brandon GR Hockey, and Travis at Trav in T-Town.